So for the keyboard components, what we basically want to do is have 3 rows of the designated keys. So let's go to our keyboard.svelte component we created last episode. And in here, let's create a scripts tag and create 3 different arrays basically for all of our keys. So we'll call this row 1, and this is going to be an array of strings. What is it going to be? Well, it's going to be an array of letters, basically, or characters, right? So I'm just doing Q, W, E, R, etc. T, Y, U, I, O, and P. And I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I'm going to just quickly copy this from my second screen and paste over all of the letters we're actually going to be needing, right? So for row 1, we're going to need Q through P. It basically matches your keyboard. For row 2, A through L. And for row 3, just like Wordle, we're also going to add a enter and a delete / backspace. And I'm just going to have enter and delete, like so. Now to actually get these to generate and display on our screen, we're going to come down here and do .keyboard, like so. So down here, we're going to do .keyboard, create a div, and we're basically going to want to create a row. And for each row, we're just going to want to iterate over and display each of these strings. So to do this, we're going to create another each. This time we're going to do row 1 as character, right? And in here, we're going to want to display the key. So I'm going to create a new component called key.svelte, where we're basically going to display the key. So I'm just going to open up the script and do export let character, like so. And that should be good. Basically in here, we're just now going to actually add. So we're going to do dot key and just put in the character dot to uppercase, like so. So this is going to create the key and paste it in. And now all we have to do is type in key, like so, and pass in the character, right? So by doing it like this, we can pass in the character, and basically this is going to output Q, W, E through P. Now we just had to import this, so let's go ahead and do that. Import key from / key, like so. And if we go back to our app, we should see Q through P on the bottom left. So that looks perfect. Now what we need to do is basically just copy this 2 more times, and this is going to be row 2 and row 3. Not that, sorry. Row 3, right? And now we have Q all the way through our delete key. So that's all the keys. Now what we need to do is actually style this up so it looks like an actual keyboard. So let's go down here, create a style tag, and we're going to do .keyboard, and we're going to do a position of fixed, because we want this to be on the very bottom of the screen. So if you look down here, it's fixed with the very, very, very bottom. So we want the same kind of aesthetic. So we're going to do position fixed. We're going to give it a width of fit content, like before. We're going to do bottom of 20 pixels, because I want this to be 20 pixels off the bottom. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do left of 50% and a translate of negative 50% and 0%, like so. And that will put this like this. Now, basically for each row, we're going to do what we did before with our board, right? And for each row, we're just going to get these into a line like they need to be. So let's go to our keyboard.svelte and do .row, right? And we're going to do a display of flex. And that's going to create our layout like this. Then we're going to do align items of center, and that's going to center them vertically. And then justify content of center is going to make it so this one is centered like it is in the normal Wordle. And now inside of the key, we can actually make it look like a keyboard, right? So inside of the key.svelte file, basically, let's come down here and add our styles. And we're going to do .key, a background color of var BG for our backgrounds. And you'll see it makes them all dark. So we're going to give it a color of white. We're going to give it a padding of 20 pixels and let's say 18 pixels. A margin top of 4 pixels and 3 pixels left and right. And that's going to make it look like this. I'm also just going to add a cursor of pointer so that when we hover, we get a nice hover effect. We're going to set the border radius to 4 pixels and a transition of background 2.3 seconds. Right, and just like that, we can do key, hover, and just give it a nice little background color of, let's just say, orange, like so. So now we have our keyboard looking actually pretty nice. One thing you might notice, though, is over here, the Enter key and the Delete key are a little bit wider than they are here. And I kind of actually want to specifically set the width of these keys to make them a little bit more wide than they currently are. And to do that, if you recall, inside of our keyboard, we're passing in the character. And one thing you'll notice is the character is actually a word for these two right here. So what we can do is inside of the key.svelte components is up here, let's create a class for .special. And in here, we're just going to give it a padding of 20 pixels and 35 pixels, like so. Now, the one thing is, how do we dynamically pick this special padding? Well, conveniently, in Svelte, we actually have a way of doing that, right? We can say the constant key class is going to be equal to, and we're going to compare if character is enter or if character is delete. If it is, right, so we're going to use a ternary operator because we're assigning it. If it is equal, then we're going to do the class is going to be key and special. If it's not, it's just going to be key. And like so, we've now created a dynamic class. So instead of putting the class as key, let's come up here and put the class as key class, like so. And what you'll see is now these are a little bit bigger. So we could have also done something like set the background color to another, color, right? But I just wanted to make them a little bit bigger than the other ones, so they stand out. So that is how we can create a dynamic class. So now what we actually want to do, now that we have the UI and everything else out of the way, is we're going to want to actually get started with handling user inputs, right? So when the users type something, as well as coloring the letters. And we'll do all of that in the next video. So if you liked this video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Leave any questions you have in the description, or feel free to join us on our community Discord server. We're about to hit 60 members, so I'd love to have you there. In the meantime, I'll talk to you later. Bye.